Hi everyone, I'm Eric,
And I'm Christopher.
and we're Grow For Me Gardening. Today we have a lot to do. We've got bare root roses, we've got irrigation.
And we really need to get started.
Welcome to our busy day in the garden. First thing we're gonna do is open up our recently arrived David Austin rose. This is the Malvern Hills, and we bought a bare root rose. And this is kind of how it's shaped, just like this.
I love planting bare root roses. It's so much easier than getting a big, heavy, wet dirt root ball.
Yes. And so what we're doing is opening it up first and getting it in water so that it can soak in the water for the next few hours while we accomplish other tasks around the yard. And then when we finally get to planting it, it'll be nice and hydrated. This bucket is filled with fresh, clean water just up to the crown of the plant. So we're going to leave that here to soak, put this stuff away, and get going.
Speaking of bare root roses, we were very fortunate to get our hands on some wonderful proven winners bare root varieties. These are a whole collection. We have Rise Up Amberness. We have, oh gosh, Eric, which did we say this one? Oh, this is At Last. And this beautiful, clearly happy waking up rose is Crema. Would you believe there are 10 of them in this grow bag?
They've got to get out of there.
When they arrived, they were in bundles of 10. And they were bare root, so they needed to be rehydrated. I might even have that picture I sent you on the phone when I had all the buckets set up when I was soaking them. We put them in these grow bags temporarily, just lightly covered them with soil so the roots didn't dry out. And in this case, they are flourishing. So we're going to be bringing these to the back by our dry creek bed that just got installed. And we're going to show you how we plant them. And then we're also going to be putting the drip irrigation on them today.
Right back here is our new dry creek bed area and this new space where we're going to plant our hedge of crema roses. But I think we came in too tight right here.
Yeah, if you see it on camera, you can see right in front of Eric, there's this kind of straight line spot. So we need to round out a little bit in front.
I just think it needs to pop a little bit. I think from here, don't you think, to here?
Yeah, that's really all it needs.
And
not
that's
much,
it.
Not much at all. You know, I couldn't let the guys have all the fun with the edging. I did have a little bit of guilt to have someone else do our edges, you know, Eric.
Well, there's only so much we can do. We both work full time and our garden keeps getting bigger. But that is the Lifetime Edger from Gardener Supply.
Yes, I love this thing. I believe they call it the T-handle edger. I like it because it is incredibly sharp and it's a nice sort of like handheld size. I'm not too, you know, if the handle was a little bit longer, I think it would put me in an awkward angle. But I find that it makes it really easy work.
Easy work?
Easier work than it could be had I not had a better tool.
So we are holding off on composting until we have most of our spring planting done. And I think compost is scheduled for not this coming week, but next week. So I can't wait to not see this bare soil anymore and see fresh compost in all of our garden beds. And yes, we use compost as mulch. A lot of people ask us how that works. And really, we just order bulk compost. We get like 20 yards delivered. And then we spread it on top just like you would mulch. But the benefit is that it really provides nutrients to the soil. This line looks really good.
And honestly, as this is coming out, the reason I went a little further is for mowing purposes. Edges have to be beautiful, but edges need to be mowed around.
They have to be mowed.
And if this is too tight, I feel like you're always going to end up falling in a little bit on that.
I will. And then I'll end up stepping on, because I mow the lawn, and then I'll end up stepping on the edge and crushing it.
And then I get angry.
And you get angry because I've crushed your hard work. If you guys could see Christopher angry, you'd laugh.
Here we go. When it works, it comes out so easy.
I don't think what I'm doing is helping you.
He is not helping.
Let me know when you need my help.
You need to move the wheelbarrow toward me. I literally just pull sheets.
I'm glad you said sheets. I thought you were going to say something else.
Pull my back out, you mean? This
No.
is the main reason we had somebody do this for us, so that I did not need surgery. Eric, why don't you move the wheelbarrow and keep up with this side?
Keep up with you?
Yeah, because that shovel business is...
Well, I was just getting out little chunks of grass. Gorgeous.
Now that is a nice edge.
I'm going to go dump this. So these limelight hydrangeas are deceiving. We know that they're going to come out to here when they grow and bloom, right?
Yes.
So we're working from where I'm standing over to where you're standing. Do we want Monty to be a part of the roses, or do we want Monty to be the border? Like, do we want Monty here and then the roses start there? Only because then we'll still see that.
Well, the thing is, the pollarded pussy willow is going to be, I mean, if we keep it at this height, this is still going to grow well over this area, and this will all be shaded by this because it'll be this huge lollipop. So I feel like it might just, we need the bright blue in this area, but I'm worried that we just have these two kind of mega things happening that are going to eat it.
I have a thought. We have some bare root at last roses. So what if we have a transition color here? Because I don't know if I love the cream against the lime green. So if we did maybe 3 at last roses here, that peachy color, and then Monty, because I think the peachy color would look beautiful with the lime green. I think the peachy color would look good with the icy blue of Monty. And then a nice, clean, straight hedge, thickly planted, of the crema.
I think I like that better.
I think I do too.
I think I like that better also because there'll be size differentiation between the rose heights. And when it comes to the Monty, I like the idea of Monty being further from the limelights.
Yeah, and I mean, even if we, like, do you think this needs to go even a little further?
I'm not afraid of that. Who needs grass?
Who needs grass? I'm going to go grab the
At last
roses.
Go grab those, and then we'll play.
Yeah. Okay, we have been working through this. This bag is kind of placed where we decided Monty would go, right?
Monty the blue spruce, by the way.
It's a hybrid of like a hoopsie eye and something else. Montgomery. And so we're going to do at last roses. We're going to do 3 right here. 1, 2, 3 on the edge of this swoop with 2 behind it. So 5 at last roses here. Monty. And then we're going to do our hedge of crema. But we've got to, in order to have enough room, make this bed a little deeper. Less grass.
Less grass. Who needs grass?
We have 1 open bag of Penobscot. Do you think this is enough for all of them, or should I get another bag of that?
We'll get another bag.
All right. We use Penobscot in the rose holes because it has everything roses love. It's an organic product from Maine. It's a coastal Maine product. It's got compost in it, oyster shells, and mycorrhizae for the root development. So we will mix this in to our native soil. Can we grab a rose and see if this is deep enough?
We need the auger.
Oh my God, we do. Those are huge.
They're huge.
Okay.
Nothing is more of a love-hate tool in any garden, I think, than a giant auger.
Yeah. I mean, this is a rough, heavy tool to use.
We chose this one because it was battery operated, and what I think maybe the price was right at the time.
I think it's because we had other...
Oh, we used to have that electric lawnmower that was the bane of your existence.
Yes.
You're doing great.
I'm doing the best I can. Oh, there we go.
Yay.
This is a heavy monstrosity. This is like, I don't know what like a small person would do with this.
No, I think we're lucky that we have the height and breadth to be able to work with it. And
I think it's super dangerous.
It really is. You have to brace it against your hip because if you hit a rock, you're going to remove your leg.
Hang on.
Wow.
I don't recommend this auger.
I don't recommend
But it's what we have.
It's what we have. All right. Well, you know what? This is starting off the holes. And even if it just helps us a little bit. All righty. We have these holes dug. So again, like Eric said, we're using the Penobscot blend. This is like garden treasures using this kind of stuff. The mycorrhizae, of course, are going to join in with the root system and little snapped piece and put little holes in the roots that make it able to take up more water. So when you're planting a bare root rose such as this, obviously your hole needs to be big enough. I might have to expand this a tiny bit. You're going to make a little kind of volcano of soil in the base. And I'm going to be doing probably 3/4 native soil with a little bit of Penobscot mixed in there. And then I'm going to make my little volcano so I have something to set the center of the root ball on. Let me put this down in here.
How deep do we want to bury it, though?
So for this kind of rose,
and we want to center it in the hole as much as we can, right?
Which we can't right now because we need to make the hole about 8 inches wider.
Cool. I can do that. Which side needs to be a little bigger?
Right here. You just need to make this big, deep spot.
Better?
Thank you, thank you. Oh, look at this is a pretty rock. I'll put that in.
Add it to the pile.
So this is going to be right here.
Oh, I love that.
That's going to be perfect. So I've got to make my volcano a little bit bigger. And that's going to help me basically support the roots. If this was particularly dry soil right now, it's not. Like, you can feel there's some moisture in here. I would probably fill the hole with water first. In the summertime, when we plant stuff like this, we'll usually fill the whole hole with water and then almost plant into the muck, I guess you could call it. In this case, I can definitely feel all the moisture in the soil. So give me that chunk back.
That's a lot of clay in that chunk I just...
A lot of clay. That's okay. There's also some old roots of something in there, so that'll break down and give us some more goodness in there.
I wonder what the old roots are. I mean, it looks great from this angle.
Yeah, so I'm just continuing to layer in little bits of the Penobscot, which again will break down some of the clay. Okay, like, is that chunk of
clay or rock?
Clay or rock, clay or rock. A little more of this right here.
And this is gonna get a whole layer of compost as mulch too.
Yes, and that's the reason, that was what I was just about to say, is we're gonna get this nice and, I'm not gonna crush it, but I'm definitely gonna make sure my air pockets are mostly out. I'm gonna plant it so the crown is just below the plant and you start seeing all your little side shoots come out, knowing the compost is gonna come right across that level. So this top little bit right here is all gonna be under the compost, and then in seasons to come, we'll just continue adding more compost and it'll be a happy, healthy rose from bare root.
And so when we're planting in groupings like this, I get a little bonkers about making sure the spacing is perfect. So as we plant this, we're always checking to make sure the spacing is correct so that we're not all finished and then look at it and have to dig something up and move it.
Yes, the other very important step when you're planting roses, especially bare root roses, is water. Think like a 2-gallon bucket on top of this at least once a week for the first season or so. We give our roses lots and lots of water and they give us lots of blooms. Eric is adjusting the holes a little bit right now, and I'm gonna get these crema out of the grow bag.
Good luck. They're happy.
They're very happy.
I wonder why they're so far ahead of the other roses. It just must be their type.
Well, I remember when I was pruning our other roses that the reminiscent pink, so from the same series of roses, didn't they come from Serbia, I think?
Yeah.
They came through winter so happy and healthy. Wow, Eric, the roots.
That's awesome.
This is gorgeous. Absolutely
Also,
gorgeous.
Look at this giant rock.
Oh, wow, a decorative stone.
A decorative stone.
Beautiful. You know
to
what?
add to the jardin. Right here, transition piece.
Yeah, there you go, a transitional piece. I'm just gonna start setting these, since clearly they're desperate to grow and flourish, right into planting holes.
Wow.
Wow. So basically I'm reaching into the root area so that I don't tug on anything, as gently as one can be. That's stunning.
I only have those 3 holes dug so far.
Oh no.
Hang on.
Well, this one is going to go in that hole. Beautiful. I'm going to start planting, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's do this front row, get the front row situated, and then we'll go in between them in the second row.
Okay. Same rules apply, everybody. We're making a little volcano. I'm adding in my lovely Penobscot micro-rising.
I know, I keep calling it Penobscot, but it's
like
not.
Hopscotch. Or butterscotch. No, it's Penobscot. I believe it's a bay in the, would you believe it's on the coast of Maine?
I would. I would believe that. It's hard work. Gotta get back in gardening shape. All right, I'm gonna check your spacing, because those 2 that you just planted look pretty close to each other, and these 2 look pretty far apart. So is there any way to shift that to the left? Or shift the one you just did to your right?
What if I shifted that one over a little bit?
Yeah.
These 2 look perfect. Thank you.
And that's why we always check whilst planting.
Is that it? Oh my goodness, it's so nice to see this. I don't want to get too carried away with the planting because I know that I'm getting the air pockets out, but we know when they get watered, they're going to sink. So I'm just kind of prepping for it.
And that gives the Monty a little more room too.
Yeah. I think that's the key. Look at that.
The water is on. We recently got sent from Vigo Gardening a new retractable hose. So this is a new product for them. And one of the appealing things about it for us is that it is a 100-foot retractable hose. And so other products don't seem to come that long, and this is a high flow 100-foot retractable hose. Previously we had Costco retractable hoses here, which I think were great. I would highly recommend those, but they're low water pressure. So this, the difference is it's a little bit higher of water pressure. And we went ahead and took our existing posts that we had, and I went to the hardware store and just got a flange and a nipple, and this slides right in. So now we have our 100-foot retractable high flow hose from Vigo. Let's see how it works, because we just installed these yesterday. And we have to water these roses in, and I bet we're going to see some settling. What do you think, Christopher?
I have a feeling we're going to see quite a bit of settling. I'm holding one end of the hose so it doesn't crush daffodils at the moment. Wait, let me pull out some more, and then we won't have to worry about it.
I have to cut daffodils tomorrow morning for an office party. Remind me.
I will remind you.
All right.
I like that the watering nozzle handle. What is that called, Eric? The spray wand? It's not a wand.
The nozzle.
The nozzle. It
Yeah.
has the thumb attachment, so you can push it on and off with your thumb. Makes it easy. It does seem to be pretty high flow, considering it's still the skinnier hose diameter.
I can actually rinse these rocks a little bit too.
Ooh, look!
I don't think the rain we had the other day really rinsed them that well.
I mean, instant change.
Instantly much better.
When these first got put in, I have to admit I was a little skeptical, but it's because of how they looked. And then look at the difference.
Well, and once everything's freshly mulched and leafed out and growing,
It's
like,
gonna be gorgeous.
these rocks are just going to be like a background I'm going to be thinking about them.
Right. But when they're white, they're a little aggressive for the space.
Here, I'll get the rocks all wet for you. Is that better?
Can you feel just the calming feeling that goes through me as I see the clean rocks? We all have to have a stress in life, right?
I mean, I guess we're lucky yours is rocks. So the way I water freshly planted plants is I kind of do a general saturation of the soil, and then I'll go back and really heavy water because that'll help prevent some runoff. So now that everything's kind of gotten a general saturation, now I'll go back. Oh, let me rinse off our new rock, our new decorative rock we found while digging. And then we can kind of pay attention to where the water is going as it runs off. So when we are doing the drip, we can
determine where we're going to want to focus our emitters.
Yeah.
You can see that we brought the roses a little closer together here, so the Atlas and the Crema will touch. And there's a little spot in the middle for the
baby Monty.
The baby Monty Blue Spruce. And we know full well in some years that a handful of these roses might need to
these
moved.
4 can just come out. Boom, boom, boom. Those 4 can just move when Monty gets bigger.
I have to say, though, on our mission to continue Who Needs Grass, I think we just removed another 50 square feet.
Our final rose of the day today is Malvern Hills, and this is a rambling rose from David Austin Roses. We ordered it online, bare root. It arrived the other day. We have taken it out, and it's been soaking in water since this morning. That's what you'll want to do with your bare root roses when they arrive. Soak them in water for at least 2 hours. This is going to be quite a big project for kind of logistics reasons, I think. It's going right here at the base of this pillar. Now, I've had these cages set out to see if they'd be in the way, like if it bothered me when I walked by them, like I felt like they were in the way, and they absolutely do not. I went ahead and cut the top off of an old plastic container, and this is kind of going to be like the collar of protection around the rose.
I like collar of protection.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to rake back and shovel back all this crushed gravel. There's about 4 inches worth. We're going to cut an X in the landscape fabric, peel it back, and we're going to dig into the ground. The collar of protection is going to go around here, probably, 4 inches down into the gravel, but it's going to be filled with really good soil up until the top of the collar of protection, and then the very top of the soil will be covered again with stone, so it looks like the rose is growing right out of the gravel and up this pergola. That's the plan. Then for drip, we're going to, under the gravel here, connect the drip from the sprinters over here, run it along underneath the lip of the stairs, elbow it out here under the soil, and get it under there. And so that's the plan. Now, let's execute it. One of the things we have to consider when we're moving rocks is not removing rocks that are underneath this foot of the pillar.
Yeah.
So we'll start out here and just let's go at it. Well, this is where we're going to bury drip, so I won't put stone on. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we do an X here, right? So that's going to go there.
Yep.
That'll go there. That'll go there.
Yep. That's going to be the right size.
So now we just have to dig. Let's take a look at our collar of protection and see how much further out we have to go. Yeah, so we just gotta widen the hole a bit. We're on the right track. I think this is gonna be so cool. And we've done all of our research on how to train the Rambler up this pergola leg.
Using that, what's that twisty something that I sent, that I had you order?
I think that's the name.
Twisty something?
It's a plastic coated wire, right?
Yes. Wire tie or something like that. But it was a specific brand that I saw on the David Austin website. That's it. I think that's the depth.
That is the depth for the collar of protection. And now we can just get the hole deeper.
Do we need it deeper? Let's take a look.
I don't know. So the choice, though, with the drip, Christopher, is it can go underneath the collar, right angle up, and come to the top, or it can ride over the top and we can kind of slip a little hole in. I think that's great.
I think this is where we're going to go. I think this is enough.
Yep.
These roots are going to be happy. And with David Austin roses, we generally plant just below grade, just below the surface, so that all this business is covered. It helps with shrub roses with rocking, but also it just maintains a nice protection in winter.
And we want to cover, it's going to be quote unquote mulched, but with stone. So stone. So it's going to look like it's coming right out. We're going to plant it as close to the post as possible.
Yep, just about there. That's going to be the spot.
Tell me when.
I'll tell you when. Slow, slow, slow. Stop. A nice start. We're going to lasagna.
We're going to put some of the native soil back in.
Soil. It's so hard to call this soil. It is sand.
We're putting the native sand back in. Should I water it?
Yes, I would like you to get the hose.
And this also kind of shows you how good the drainage is that you're working with in this area. We chose Malvern Hills because it stays more narrow. It's a very narrow rambler and nearly thornless.
Since it is going to be close to walking areas.
With more Penobscot. With a T.
Penobscot with a T.
I keep wanting to say Penobscot, but I'm going to get over it.
Yeah, I think the thing about roses that's so important to remember is they're much hardier and less finicky than you think, but you gotta take a minute and plant them right. Drip on this seems like it might be really intimidating, but it's actually gonna end up being one of the easiest kinds of drip that we do this year. I have my brand new 500-foot roll of black poly tubing. I am going to tee off this piece right here by the Lady of Shallots in the Sprinter Boxwood. I'm gonna run this underneath the stone all the way across, and I'm going to put an ender on it. And then what I'm going to do is take a black poly 1/4-inch tube, run that straight across underneath all of the stones, and then I can put my emitters at the end of that.
We got this whole, what is this, 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch?
This is the 1/2 inch black poly. It is run underneath all of these stones, pressed up again so you can't see it.
And you won't step on it.
I'm going to tee off right here in this little spot. So I'll put in my magic tool.
I'm not sure if we filmed me digging underneath the landscape. Did we?
A little, yeah, I think we might have.
Okay. So it's going underneath this edging here and along the base of the steps. You can't see it because it's been buried. It pops out over there, and then Christopher's going to do an emitter off of it to the rose.
All we have to do now is cut off our little extra here. Where's my ender? Little number 8 looking things, but that is the ender. We slide that on, then we crimp, slide that end back in here, and that's it. That's how we end these things. I am going to next punch a hole in our black distribution line. and put one of these straight couplers, like so.
Okay, I'm glad that went in.
Very easy. And then I'm going to find the end somewhere of my, there it is. I found an end.
In the middle, oddly enough.
In the middle somewhere. Put that on there. That's great. So then this can get pushed way up and buried. I'm going to bring this over here through our little notch that Eric made. Then I'm going to get fancy, Eric. I am going to put in a T to distribute our water out a little bit. Let's do 2 1 gallons, and if it looks like it needs more, we'll add it. So then I'll put my 1 gallon emitters on the ends of my little contraption here.
Ooh, do you need more landscape staples?
I will.
Everything is stapled in. We'll leave that there for now. See if that needs to change at any point. I'm just going to bury it up.
I would say this is a fun kind of experiment.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't recommend mulching with stone by any means. This is a very, like, one-off situation.
Yeah, we're going to give this a go. And obviously, we'll be letting you know how it works.
We are back at it in the Tromnar area. This is where the oh-so-easy peasy roses are going to go. And then somewhere in this area, we are going to place the urn. But in order to do that, we've got to lay the base for the urn, which is also right here. That urn pedestal is 18 inches wide. This slab is 18 inches by 18 inches. That's hard to believe that's how big it's going to be, but it's going to go somewhere right there. Same process here, right, Christopher?
Same process as we did before.
There are 10 altogether, so it's a back row of 5, middle row of 3, and front row of 2. And then we left this little spot here for a grouping of annuals, like Artist Blue Floss Flower, because that's one of our absolute favorites. So let's get all of these in the ground and watered in, and then we can conquer laying the paver. We have been busy, busy, busy. We have got the drip all set up on the oh-so-easy peasy roses. They have been watered in and they are dripped up. I have successfully placed a level pad for the urn that's coming with the pedestal.
This has been a day, a very, very successful day. We have the 5 at last roses. 6, I'm sorry, the invisible spot for a future blue spruce. We have 10 reminiscent cremo roses. All of these are now on drip. I was able to tee off of the drip that goes under the limelight hedge, bring it right across all of here. Everything has a 1 gallon dripper on it because we know these are slightly smaller roses, so they probably won't need too much. I put 2 gallons on the front of the at last section and then 1 gallon at the back because this is a bit more of a slope. And I think the ever afters might appreciate a little bit more water because they're a bit bigger of a plant. Here we have the oh so easy peasy rose. This is a lovely shrub rose. These are going to be beautiful, a really strong mass of intense color that's going to pop off of the Tromnar spruce. That's going to set us up for all of the lovely plantings to happen in here. You can see I've created a big, huge irrigation line across the front. So now in the future, we'll have things that we can play off of for future plantings. But I think this is going to be really nice. These should all touch. Maybe this season, that would be really nice and give us a lot of wonderful color. Doesn't look like much, but this might have been one of the most difficult plantings of the day. This is the Malvern Hills Rambling Rose from David Austin Roses. We planted this, of course, in our little collar of protection. This little cage will keep any little bunnies away for the time being. And I'm really interested to see how fast this one grows. Ramblers and climbers do grow quicker. This tends to be a narrower rambler. So we're going to be tying this up along the pergola. I think this is going to be such a beautiful one.
What a day that was.
That was a really, really long day.
Although I do have to debate with you. I think that the cremas and at last, that soil was more difficult than planting the Malvern Hills under the pergola.
Okay, you're right.
All
it
right.
was probably more difficult.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.